October 5th at 3:49 is a phone call to Bonnie Garcia, returning her phone call.
Hello.
Hi, is this Bonnie?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Bonnie. It's Detective LeClaire with the Sheriff's Department.
Hi.
How you doing?
Very good. Were you over at my house today?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, why didn't you leave your card?
There's no reason to. I just went over there to try to see if Javi was there.
Okay, well, did you find him?
Yeah, I swung by his work and was hoping he was working there, and he was, so talked to him there for a couple of minutes, and that was that.
Okay. So is there anything that I can help you with, or, you know, I'm a little worried about this investigation. You guys are not releasing too much information.
Yeah, that's pretty standard in this type of case.
Yeah, I imagine it is.
What I'm trying to do is get as much information from everyone as possible so I can kind of, you know, kind of get a history on who's who and try to find out who's responsible.
Yeah.
One of the main things I'm trying to do is, you know, eliminate all the close people in her circle, so I could, you know, go for it, obviously.
Right.
One easy way to eliminate people is to have them take a polygraph test. So I was trying to get Javi to see if he wanted to do that, so I can kind of eliminate him from the circle.
Yeah. Well, I understand it. He's been counseled not to do that.
Oh, really?
Because A, it's not something that's admissible, and B, it's not scientifically driven, so I think you can, you know...
So you're not a proponent of it, huh?
No, I'm not.
Why is that?
So, why is that? Because
yeah.
I think it's a good investigative tool maybe for you guys, but it's not something that is admissible in court, so what's the point? But I'm actually frankly surprised that you guys haven't come to talk to me.
Okay. I didn't know you had any information.
Well, I don't know. You said you're eliminating people that were close to this girl.
Okay.
So if you want to come and talk to me, that's why I was surprised that you didn't leave a card at my door. I was wondering, that's a little bit unusual, a little bit, I don't want to say unprofessional, but my neighbor saw you there, and there were two of you there, so, you know, of course someone knows you came to my door, and just in my line of work, a policeman shows up at my door, everybody wants to know what the hell's going on. So that's why I'm calling you.
Okay. No problem with that. I mean, if your neighbor wants to, you know, be on a lookout, I mean, what are you getting at? I don't go around leaving my card at everyone's door if there is not a reason for them to call me back.
Well, that's why I didn't know who you came to talk to.
Oh, okay.
Whether you came to talk to me or whether you came to talk to my son. I know you've already talked to my son.
Okay.
So the reason I'm calling you is there any reason for you to talk to me? Do you think there is? If you're eliminating the circle of people that may know this girl, maybe you think you need to. And if you do, well, then I want to make myself available to you.
Okay. Well, let's talk right now.
Okay.
Since we're on the phone. What can you tell me about these people?
I don't know the parents, but this young lady spent a lot of time at my house.
Okay. Tell me about Becky.
What do you want to know?
No, everything you know about her. Tell me what type of person she is.
I would say pretty easygoing kind of girl, had a wide circle of friends, many that I don't know. I know the circle of friends that she hung out with at my house, you know, 5 or 6 guys, which I think you've already talked to.
Okay.
And she spent quite a lot of time at my house. Who
are those guys so I can ensure those are people I have spoken with?
Well, I know them a lot by nicknames and just guys that hung out with my son. Corey, whose dad works for Palm Springs PD, very thin guy, spiky hair. Alex, short kind of buzz hair. Bo, the red hair kid. My son, my nephew, Jacob. And, you know, she seemed to be the only girl in the circle.
Okay.
So she was the kind of girl that hung out with guys that were easy to hang out with. That's how I would describe her.
Did she have a boyfriend?
Yeah, she did. She was dating my nephew for a while, and I know that my son had a crush on her for a while, so who she dated, I think she dated some guy that was, I want to say a Marine or some military guy for a while.
How long ago was that?
I don't really know. Maybe a couple months ago.
Now, how did you get this information? From Becky or from someone else?
Oh, from Becky, yeah, talking to Becky.
Okay.
I don't know her circle of friends. She lived here in the area and then left. And then moved back to the area, and then started hanging around with my son and a couple of his friends, several months back.
When she dated this military guy, was that before she moved away or after?
I don't know if it was after she moved back here or before, she was here.
Okay.
I never asked her where the guy was from or anything like that. And, she dated quite a bit, so I didn't ask her a whole bunch of stuff. But she spent a lot of time in my house, and frankly, I was concerned. I just kind of have the kind of house where I tell my kids, bring your friends here. I don't want you in somebody else's house. And so I'm not the kind of parent that buys them alcohol or lets them, smoke marijuana or do any of that crap. But I will buy them pizza and let them swim in my pool and watch my big screen TV and crash on my couch.
Oh, okay.
So she was spending a lot of time with that circle of guys, and so many a night she spent nights in my house, and I know she spent nights in my house even when I was out of town or working out of town.
Okay.
And so I said to her one day, what's the story? Why are you spending so much time at my house? If you're not my son's girlfriend, I think it's probably inappropriate for you to spend a lot of time here. And,
What was her reply to that?
I'm sorry?
What was her reply to that?
She was just, we're just hanging out. And I go, I know, but you live up the hill. And so I know that you have a long drive home, but I don't really think it's cool for one girl to be hanging out with so many guys. And even if there's nothing going on and I'm here in the house and sleeping in the house at the same time you're here, I think it just kind of looks bad.
Okay.
So she spent a lot of time at my house while I was there. I would come home some nights and the kids would be hanging out. I have a little fire pit in my backyard. Be hanging around the fire pit and just hanging out. I know she spent the night before this horrible incident at my house. And so that made me feel bad.
Did Becky and Javi ever date in the past?
Not to my knowledge, no. I'm sure he would have liked to, but she was dating his cousin.
Okay. So how do you know he had a crush on her?
Because she told me, and it was obvious, when a guy likes a girl.
Okay.
But it was obvious that, all the time that she was at my house and hanging out with the guys, that she was just one of the guys.
Right.
I've never seen them holding hands or, sitting on his lap or kissing his face. In fact, they were just almost like 12-year-old silly with, if one of the guys was falling asleep, they would, take magic markers and magic marker their face or their hands or do fake tattoos on them, that kind of stupid stuff.
Did Javi ever tell you that he was interested in dating Becky?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure there were 50 guys interested in dating Becky. She was cute, she was funny, she was funky.
She ever talk to you about any problems she was having?
She said she didn't get along with her, I think, one sister she didn't talk to that lived out of the area. I think she had a sister that she got along with that was in the military. Her dad, I knew, lived out of town, former deputy. She got along well with her mom. Never really talked to me about her stepdad. I don't know him. I don't know the mom either.
Do you know any of Javi's friends who drive a pickup truck?
What color?
Either blue, green, red, or somewhere around there?
No, the only pickup truck that any of them have, I think, was Corey's. And Corey's, I want to tell you, is yellow. Yellow, kind of like a beige color.
Okay.
And it has a dent in it because I backed my car into it. It's an old pickup truck.
Okay. And do you remember the time frame where Becky said that Javi had a crush on him?
Do I remember the time frame?
Yeah, like recent.
Yeah. I don't think her discussion with me was that he had a crush on her. It wasn't a discussion like that. It was, hey, you're spending an awful lot of time in this house, and this is not cool. And she was just more like, hey, we're friends, you know. I'm sure he would like me to be a girlfriend, but I'm not interested in that. It wasn't like, hey, Javi has a crush on me, I'm leading him on. It was nothing like that.
Oh, okay.
But Becky's personality was very flirty, funky. I mean, you would go with her to the grocery store, she would be flirting with 5 people. You know, she was just kind of that funky personality. So I didn't kind of see it unusual. I just thought, you know, I'm the kind of Latina mom, you want to go screw around, go find a hotel room. And that's obviously not the case. In this case, well, then don't let it appear that way. And even when she spent the night at my house, my son has a king-size bed. And so it would not be unusual for 4 or 5 guys to be sleeping at my house, 2 on my couch, and 2 on his bed, and maybe 1 on his floor.
I see.
And then to have a girl hanging out, like, in the middle of that crowd, that's what I thought was not cool.
Okay. Anything else you think is important?
I just think, you know, timeline was important to me because that day I was in town, and I was in Vegas the night before, and my son picked me up at the airport, and we went to get some tires for his car, and the car got delayed with the tires being placed on it, and he dropped me off at home and went to have lunch with Becky and a friend. I think the friend was babysitting or something. And I had a 16th of September event in front of City Hall that night, and I called him and rushed him home because I had to get to work. And he came back to the house, and she left up the hill. Probably, I want to say it was probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock around that time. So I dropped him off at the shop to go pick up his car, and I went over to City Hall. So, you know, she left to go back up the hill around that time. And as I recall it in the morning, there was a fire that night. So I'm thinking, how much time between the time she left the valley floor to the time she got up there did this poor girl get in trouble?
When he came home, after Becky went back up to the hill, you said you called him and you said you summoned him. Did he actually come home?
Yeah, he was home that day because the next morning I think I was going somewhere. To go repair his car or something. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He had school. And I said to him, they have you registered at school incorrectly. They have you registered as if you live out of state and you need to fix this tuition problem and you need to go down to the counseling office. And it was early in the morning, probably around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, I haven't heard from Becky. Becky worked nights at Denny. I haven't heard from Becky, and the guy up there told me that her house was on fire. And so we were looking at the news and saw all the commotion going on, and he was clearly concerned about her. And so that day, that morning, it was early in the morning, I want to say probably about 8, 9 o'clock, we started seeing all the commotion going on and asking the friends if they heard from her, because I know the reception is poor up there. And then a few of them drove up there to see if they could see her car in the driveway to see if she was at home.
Okay. When you
So I got him out of bed that morning.
Okay. When you summoned him home, after he had lunch with Becky, how long was he home for?
Well, he was home probably about 10, 15 minutes because I said, hey, you got to come and he had my car. He went to go get lunch with her, meet her and her friends, I want to say at Del Taco or something. And it was probably around 4:35 when I called him and said, hey, I got to get out there because I need to do this event this evening. And he came home, picked me up, and we went over to Walmart to go pick up his car. So I'm sure there's a time frame, a time stamp on the receipt.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 tires put on his car.
And did he go with you to your event, or did he just go elsewhere?
No. I dropped him off at Walmart, and they were not yet done with his car. So I left him at Walmart to wait for his car so that I can go to my event. My daughter totaled her car about 2 months ago, and so the only cars in my house are my car and Javi's car. And with his car in the shop, my car was transporting him, his sister, everybody else.
Did he tell you where he was at on Sunday night when this fire occurred?
Yes.
Where was that?
He told me that he was out with his friends, driving around.
Did he say if they were at a particular place?
Can you hold on 1 second?
Sure.
Hang on. Hi. I got to go over to the television station. Would you call me after you're done here? Well, whatever one you find. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Did he say if him and his friends went to a particular place?
To a particular place? No. As I understood it, Becky had spent the night at my house, and my flight came in around noon that day, and their plan was to go hang out. So he and the guys go, one of the guys works up there in near Becky's house, and they go night hiking, and they go hang out in the woods, and I'm sure they go up there and, party a little bit. And I guess the plan was to go up there for a little bit, and then Becky called them and said, no, don't come. There's another guy that she's going to see that's going to be up there. And Becky had recently broken it off with my nephew. And so there was somebody else that she was going to be hanging out with that night, and so she told my son not to go.
Okay. All right. Do you have a home number that I could contact you at?
I don't have a home number. You could reach me always on my cell phone.
Okay, that's the one I just called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you calling and providing some information.
And listen, just do me a favor. If you come to my house,
okay,
leave me your card so I know who's coming to my house. Not that I'm trying to, say that it's something unusual, but I'm in the middle of campaign season, and I've had my house destroyed. I've had people do damage to my house, so I really am aware of who comes to my front door and tell my neighbors.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.